They had been trying for a child for years. At first, it was filled with hope. Late night conversation, future baby names, shared excitement, but as months turned into years, hope slowly started to fade into silence. Each negative test felt heavier than the last. They stopped talking about it, not because they didn't care, but because it hurt less to say nothing. At home, their conversation became routine. At work, they smiled like everything was fine, but inside, both were quietly breaking. They lived side by side, but emotionally, they felt miles apart. Each partner assured the other was coping better. One cried quietly in the shower, the other stayed awake at night overthinking everything. Still, they were fully open up. Not because they didn't trust each other, but because they didn't want to add more pain to the person they love. So they carried it alone until one day that silence reached its limit. During a casual lunch at work, one partner finally opened up. He stated simply,
We've been trying. It's not working.
at first, the reaction felt comforting. Not sympathy, shared experience. It felt good to be heard, even if it was just for a moment. For the first time in a long time, the weight felt lighter. But what felt like a relief was quietly setting something else in motion. Conversation didn't stay in the lunchroom. Fragments of the story spread, first subtly, then widely. Whispers replaced curiosity, assumptions replaced fact. People who didn't know the full story began discussing it like they did. Some showed fake sympathy, others turned it into quiet gossip.
I think it's him.
No, it's her.
Meanwhile, the partner who shared the story began to feel something unexpected: regret. Because the attention didn't feel supportive anymore, it felt exposed. Back at home, things felt different. Not openly, not dramatically, but subtly. Shorter responses, distracted conversation, a quiet emotional gap that neither of them addressed. The other partner sensed it. Something has changed, but they couldn't quite explain what. And instead of asking directly, they stayed silent again. But this time, the silence felt heavier than before. Why didn't you tell me? The question wasn't loud. It wasn't angry. It was hot and honest. And in that moment, everything paused. The truth came out not as argument but as vulnerable.
I couldn't carry it alone anymore.
That sentence broke the silence between them, not instantly fixing everything, but opening a door they had kept closed for too long. They finally talked, really talked about fear, about pressure, about how both of them had finally silently suffering while trying to protect each other. They finally made a decision: no more carrying everything alone, no more speaking outside before speaking inside. They learned to communicate honestly, intentionally, and gently. They also learned something important. Not every struggle needs to be shared with the world, but every shared struggle should first be understood within the relationship. The gossip faded, the whispers lost meaning. What remained was the truth between them, and slowly, trust began to rebuild. We chose each other.